Howdy folks, I'm Cranky Cabbage, crabbily carting crude crabs.
I'm Amber.
And here are more crude crads for us to cart around. I'm not really sure why. I guess this is just another thing that Amber has decided on.
Having to write tongue twisters for every episode, I don't have a lot to work with.
Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Going on a Vacation with My Ex When My Wife Told Me Not to? I'm a 37-year-old male, and I have a lifelong best friend, a 36-year-old female, who we'll call M, who I've known since I was 3 years old. We are extremely close and dated for a few months during high school, until we realized that we weren't compatible as romantic partners. Shortly after that, I met my current wife, a 33-year-old female. Me and my wife never argue, until this particular moment. I was getting lunch with M and catching up when she brought up future vacation to a tropical island that she was going to go to with her family. She had recently broke up with her boyfriend of 3 years and mentioned all of her siblings were bringing their significant others. And she mentioned it would be awkward if she was the only one without someone with her. I'm extremely close with her family as much as her, and when I heard the proposal, I didn't think that it would be awkward. I originally was going to decline when she said that my wife and kids couldn't come with me, but she has started to beg me. She mentioned she felt like we were losing our connection since I had kids and got married to my wife, and I couldn't help but feel guilty. I talked to my wife about it, and she was very against it. I was very close to canceling on her, but then M said that if I didn't go, she would never speak to me again. I ended up going despite my wife's protests. I came back last week, and she hasn't spoken to me since. She has even gone as far as to suggest divorce. I did nothing with M in terms of intimacy. I'm really distressed. I was worried to lose M as a friend, but I think that my kindness towards her is the reason my marriage is falling apart. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yeah, I think OP is being the jerk here because this is a sus situation. Like, he is being invited as a +1 on what's essentially a couple's vacation.
Yeah.
And his wife made it clear she was not comfortable with this arrangement. Now, his friend M is being highly manipulative, but you don't give in to the manipulator. You have to, like, his obligations are to his wife, not to his manipulative friend.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why the wife would be uncomfortable in this situation, and certainly, like, it's difficult because, like, if the wife and kids have been invited along as well, then it might have been a little bit of an easier pill to swallow, but it doesn't necessarily have the best look for OP, where OP chose the friendship with M over the, discomfort the wife was having.
Right, and chose to go on what's essentially a couple's vacation with someone he used to be intimate with.
Yeah. So I do think that this is certainly not necessarily the best thing for OP to do. I understand that they didn't want to lose their friendship with M, but again, like you said, M's being manipulative, and maybe that's not a good thing to acquiesce to.
Yeah, like, if your friend is making that kind of demands, then maybe they're not the right friend for you anymore.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, our next letter is titled, Will I be a jerk if I go to a wedding without my wife? My wife is a 34-year-old female, and I'm a 39-year-old male. We met Jake, a 38-year-old male, through my brother, and we've hung out with him and his fiancée before. Jake is getting married in October, but my wife and I aren't invited to the wedding. We aren't super close. Another one of my friends, Jessica, a 38-year-old female, is invited to the wedding. Jessica is having problems with her boyfriend and asked me to be her date to Jake's wedding. I asked my wife if I should go, and she said it's super weird for someone to ask another person's husband to be their date to a wedding. I don't think that it's a big deal since my brother and his wife will be there and we are all friends. But she still thinks that it's weird to leave her at home with the kids so that I can go to a wedding with someone else. Will I be a jerk for being another person's date and going without my wife? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think OP is being a little bit of a jerk here. I don't feel like it's quite as bad as the other situation, but I do think he has to take into account his wife's feelings here and sticking her with the kids, like, solo while he gets to enjoy himself.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the only thing that doesn't make this one as bad as the last story is the fact that it's a shorter duration.
Well, and, like, there's not going to be, like, staying overnight, I'm assuming, like, so if it's just a day trip and, like, there's no, like, hotel accommodations or anything like that. If there's hotel accommodations, then we're basically back to the square one.
sorry, wife, my car broke down and I can't make it yet. I'm going to have to stay in a hotel, but I was going to give my date a ride back.
Like, I was
And
assuming.
now we're sharing a room, but don't worry, there isn't anything untoward going on here.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, I was assuming like this is like broad daylight and no one. But I guess there's all kinds of things that go on at weddings. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
our wedding was very boring by comparison. So,
Well, I mean, I'm just being imaginative here, right? But I'm saying, like, how hard would it be for him to make up an excuse about staying, at the
yeah,
wedding and
that's
being
very
like,
true.
oh, there's something wrong with the car or something like that. And I'm not saying that OP will cheat or anything like that, but I do think that, that might be on the wife's mind a little bit, but also she might just feel left out of the wedding.
Well, and having to like, does she get out to go out and do things? And how would he feel if his wife wanted to go with a male friend who had just broken up with his girlfriend?
Yeah. So I think that if OP should examine it from that lens, and maybe they should have a discussion about it like that. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Cruel Summer says, you will be the jerk. If Jessica wants to bring a friend as a date, she should choose a different friend. A girlfriend, a family member, or a single male friend, perhaps. Why is she going for a married man? I agree with your wife, it's weird. I also wouldn't be comfortable with my husband going to a wedding as a date for another woman while I stay home with the kids. If your wife felt completely comfortable with it, that would be one thing, but she doesn't, for good reason. And I think that's where the matter should end. Marriages have boundaries, and I'm not comfortable with you being another woman's date to an event I'm not attending is hardly an unreasonable one. And I Am Irene says, your wife is right, this is really weird. Consider for just a moment that the fact that your wife thinks that it's not okay should be enough to give you pause and rethink it. She's not comfortable with this, why are you? How would you feel if the roles were reversed? You will be the jerk. Alright folks, and our next darker letter is titled, Am I a jerk for leaving a note and a dead mouse on my neighbor's doorstep? Hello there, everyone. I'm a 30-year-old female, and I'm currently in a block of flats with my husband, a 31-year-old male. My upstairs neighbor is a sweet lady, and we're going to call her Lydia, with a young child about 1.5 years old. And her husband is working almost all day to support them. She feels very alone, and her upstairs neighbor has been quite unkind to her, renovating in the early hours of the morning or in the quiet hours. We have a law here mandating those hours. Lydia has been trying to talk nicely and explain the situation to her upstairs neighbor, and she just received sarcasm, yelling, and the phrase, you rented, I own my place, so you should move if you don't like it. Haha. This wasn't the first time the lady said that to her. Lydia reached a breaking point yesterday after her child was woken up by a shaking noise during the quiet hours. Lydia started arguing loudly with her, and obviously that didn't resolve anything. I heard everything. After the aftermath, I visited Lydia upstairs to comfort her, and she was shaking and crying. She confided in me that she feels alone most of the time, her extended family is not helping her, and her husband has to work most of the time. She displays classic signs of depression and obviously feels powerless. My husband and I own our flat. We don't have any kids, but we do own an animal, amongst which there is a snake, non-venomous, perfectly legal species, and not endangered. We don't live feed them, so we keep the mice frozen and defrost whenever it's feeding time. I've been the jerk many times in my life, and I've always made sure to apologize somehow, since I'm not a sociopath, though I do display some antisocial traits. You could say that I have a messed up way of standing up for what I think is right. I wrote a note, be nice and apologize or move, signed an owner, and put 2 dead mice near the note. My reasoning was, if I talk to her, she's going to be arrogant with me just like she was with Lydia. If I just leave a note, she'll ignore it. So I might as well just add a fear factor, and maybe that'll be a wake-up call. Note, Lydia does not own any pets, and she cannot be blamed in any way, shape, or form. Alright folks, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, I think OP's in the wrong here. I do not think OP handled the situation well. Certainly, the upstairs neighbor who's like doing things during quiet hours is in the wrong as well. But I don't think this is really going to achieve what OP wants it to. And it might be like seen as like criminal, like threatening or something like that.
Yeah, I do worry that OP may get themselves in over their heads here with like a criminal investigation or something like that if the neighbors do feel threatened.
Right. And I mean, I know Opie says, well, Lydia doesn't have any pets, so this can't be pinned on her, but they have no way of knowing that Lydia doesn't have dead mice around, you know? So it sounds like their place has quiet hours, so presumably there's someone who can enforce that. So I would like contact the housing management or the local police if it's like a town ordinance, non-emergency number, and report the noise complaint. That's probably the best course of action.
Yeah, I think reporting it and keeping a paper trail here is really what's going to be the thing that causes these other neighbors to get their comeuppance. I don't think putting dead mice on anyone's doorstep is really going to solve any problems. I think that it might make things worse, and it might end up causing OP to end up in jail or something like that, or with a restraining order. And if OP has a restraining order, it's going to be even harder for them to talk to the neighbor and actually get some kind of resolution here that works out in the benefit of Lydia. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Unpleasant Gremlin says, yeah, so how do you think Miss Noisy is going to react if she thinks Lydia wrote the note and left those mice? Not to mention, leaving animal corpses out in a public location is a bit unsanitary. Sure, they're fresh when you put them there, but you don't know how long they're going to sit there before someone, that might not be Miss Noisy, walks by. You're the jerk. If you're going to be gross, do it in a way that can't be attributed to the one person that you're trying to protect or potentially misfire on an innocent person. And OP replies, she walks away quite often since she is renovating and throws away stuff from the renovation. There is no one with a pet that needs walking or small children at that specific floor. I made sure of that. I also made my friend aware and told her to send the loud neighbor to my apartment, and I'll deal with her accusations and complaints should that be the case. Thank you for your time to read my post and accept my judgment. Well, I mean, OP just kind of like gave themselves a path to be charged with whatever crimes.
Yeah.
Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Will I Be a Jerk If I Get Rid of My Girlfriend's Cats? Hi everybody, how are you doing? Okay, full disclosure, I'm a 19-year-old male and I hate cats. Always did. They simply strike me the wrong way. I've been with my girlfriend, a 19-year-old female, for 6 months now, and I knew that she had a cat. I knew what I signed up for, but I kind of assumed that the cat was her parents', and I didn't know it was hers until recently. The only issue is that we're moving in together in 2 months. You see, we want our own space, and being intimate is kind of awkward in our parents' houses. They don't mind, we're adults, but it's still awkward. We want to be independent, you guys get it. I asked my girlfriend if the cat stays with her parents, and this is when I learned the bad news. She wants to bring her cat with her. I said that I disagree, but she stuck up on her decision. I even offered to pay more of the rent if she agrees not to bring it. But it's a big no, the cat comes with her. Now, I thought, during the moving process, what if the cat got lost in the woods? Alright folks, what do you think? Should the cat just get lost?
No, OP, you are a major jerk. Centrifuge for OP. You do not lose people's pets. You do not disappear people's pets. And clearly you do not love your girlfriend as much as you might think if you are willing to get rid of a being so dear to her heart to satisfy your own self.
Yeah, I mean, I would understand OP putting up a little bit more of a fight if they were like allergic to the cat and saying, well, you know, this is a deal breaker. I can't live with a cat because of my allergies. And I mean, this could still be a deal breaker for OP. Right?
Well, yeah, like it's fine if this is a deal breaker, if there are irreconcilable differences. Like they can break up and move on. He can find someone who doesn't have a cat to be with. But it is not okay to have someone who has a pet and get rid of their pet to make them fit your needs.
Yeah, and I think that's really what this boils down to. OP shouldn't be trying to control their girlfriend or manipulating them, and shouldn't be getting rid of their beloved family pet just because they don't like them.
And like, think about the toll this is going to take on her mental health if her beloved cat goes missing and she can't find the cat. And who's to say she won't want another cat? Like, it's clear this cat means a lot to her. She may want other cats. It seems like they have a fundamental disconnect here and would be best going their separate ways.
Yeah, I really think that's really what this is going to boil down to. OP just needs to break it off and find another partner who doesn't want cats.
Right, like, 'cause there's plenty of people out there who don't want the responsibility of having a pet. You know, it's totally fine to break up with someone over that.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And OK Reach 6527 says, "You're the jerk for wanting to get rid of her cat. How did you plan to really get rid of it? Killing it? Since dropping him off in the woods, does that mean the cat wouldn't find its way home?" And OP replies, "Nah, I was just going to take a deep walk into the woods and let it go, but judging by the comments, that would be a very bad idea." I mean, that's still, like, either the cat is going to find its way out of the woods, which is possible, or the cat is not going to make it out of the woods, right? Because of coyotes or other animals here, so which is effectively killing it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Pam, why are you doing the backstroke? Sam, I just had lunch and I don't want to swim on a full stomach.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And I have Earl Grey. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy, terrific Tuesday, spelled TWO. Wow, we're getting through the week. It's almost like halfway through it. I don't know. We just started, but we're almost halfway through. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on really bad ideas.
If you know that something you want to do would adversely affect someone you care a lot about, maybe rethink that idea.
Yeah, I think so. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.